Here are 5 truths that every beginner photographer needs to hear. I think this is a really important video to make. I think there's a lot of noise out there in the stratosphere, especially in photography. And I think if you're just starting out or you're wanting to get involved in this genre of creativity, then I think you need to listen to these 5 points. Now, the first thing I think you need to hear is that everyone starts somewhere. Ignore the noise and start shooting. It is so easy to tell yourself at the beginning, why even bother? There are so many photographers out there. Is it even worth me lending my voice, my vision to the world? Have I got the right camera? Have I got the right gear, the right lens? Should I shoot film or digital? There are so many questions at the beginning of your photography journey. I think it's really, really important just to start somewhere. And that can be as simply as starting on your phone. I believe most people have access to a digital camera of some kind, and most of it is within our pockets. It's our phone. And I think just there is a great place to start. The cameras in our phone are becoming quite good now. You can now shoot raw files in the new iPhone 15, but even if not that, it's just good to start taking photos and learning about composition, light, and storytelling. Possibly the 3 most important things about photography. Well, in my opinion. So just start. Don't worry about if you'll ever become great or good. It's the practice, the love, the want to go out and take photos. Better than anything, sometimes it just gets you outside and it gets you out of your head. Number 2 is your perspective is unique. Only you see the world as you do. Like I mentioned in the first one, don't worry that you're taking maybe similar photos to a famous or popular photographer. Everyone's vision is different. Everyone's lens is different. The way you see the world is completely different to how I see the world. And how important is that is actually really hard to contextualize, but I think it really is important. You lending your vision, your creativity, your insights are really valuable to the world. So don't worry if you're taking photos, similar to X, Y, and Z. The way you are taking them is unique. The way you grade them is unique. You're never actually going to copy any of the people that you're trying to emulate perfectly. And funnily enough, you might even do it better. So like I said in the first point, ignore the noise and shoot anyway. This one's a little controversial, but I think gear actually matters. Invest in something that resonates with you. It doesn't have to be new and it doesn't have to be expensive. There's a huge debate online whether gear actually matters. In my opinion, I think it does. And I think it does because of my experience. I remember when I first picked up my Fujifilm X-T3, and the lens that I paired it with is the 35mm f2. Without that combo and the love of shooting with that particular setup, I don't think this channel would exist. My first ever video was made using that setup. I was in Spain. I was in a place called Ayamonte. It's a very low grade vlog. You can go watch it somewhere on my channel. But that inspiration to go out, shoot and share is invaluable. I think gear matters. Now where it doesn't is buying the newest, latest, just for clout. I really think we do live in a world of consumerism, and I'm definitely guilty of this too. I suffer with something called GAS, which is gear acquisition syndrome, but I am actually getting better at it and I'm recognizing it in myself. However, when there is a piece of gear that makes you want to go out, it makes you want to go shoot more, I actually think that's when it matters. And like I said, it doesn't have to be new and it doesn't have to be expensive. The 4th point is you won't find your style straight away. It takes years, maybe a lifetime. When I first started out in photography and filmmaking, I reached out to a family friend and he soon became my mentor. And throughout my time, I asked him a question about, or I kind of posed something saying, I haven't quite found my style yet. I can see that you've kind of found yours. I'm desperately still looking for mine. He kind of just smiled at me with a wink. He said, this will take you years, maybe a lifetime. And at first that kind of shook me. It kind of took me back. But photography is a process, and I don't think you ever really land on a style, and I don't even really think that you determine that style. I think maybe other people determine that for you and how your photography looks. My mentor, he predominantly shoots black and white photography, and his style now is very consistent, and maybe that's just how he leans, and that's how I see it. Maybe he sees his photography different to how I do, but there is a myth, and I think that if you think that you've landed on a style as well, I'm pretty sure that that could develop and change. I thought I did on this trip. I thought, wow, this is it. Maybe it's this kind of very underexposed, crushed black kind of photography. And again, it evolved, I got bored, and I moved on. So I'm nowhere near, I think, to finding my style. Maybe I never will, but great photographers are definitely always just learning, developing, and in a sense of becoming. They're never properly finished. Okay, my last point is, if you are new to photography, you're just starting out, you're a beginner, my best bit of advice is shoot for you. Shoot what interests you. Don't shoot things for clout. Don't shoot things that might get attention. At the beginning of this, try and shoot things that say something about you, your personality, something you feel comfortable in as well. Let's say you like going to gigs and you want to go take photos of bands, you know, that would be a great place to start. Maybe you like trains, go to train yards, go to train stations, whatever it is, whatever peculiar or far out hobby or anything like that that you have, go shoot that. You know, I'm a massive football fan, and this really only occurred to me recently. I was in Bali and I was watching all of these guys play football on the beach, and I realized how captivated I was by it, and I watched almost the entire game, and needless to say I took tons of photos, as you can see here, and that really inspired and triggered something in me to go, okay, I'd like to take more photography of this, not in the traditional sense like at, you know, professional games, but maybe like localized kind of events and on this, like street football. I really liked the idea of that, and you know, that brought something out of me. I think this is a really good bit of advice, and I think shooting what you know and what you love is a really great place to start. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if any of these points resonated with you, or if they were good bits of advice or bad bits of advice, or if you have any extra bits of advice for beginner photographers, then yeah, drop them in. This is a lovely community we are building here. It has really started to pick up steam as of late. I'm so proud of it, and I can only thank you to all of you who have joined. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.